it's Carly Burr and welcome back to my channel. I want to start the conversation today and ask, are you addicted to social media? Now, I'm not asking this to assume that about you, or to freak you out, or to shame you, or to make you upset. I'm asking because social media addiction is very real. I've been having these conversations for nearly a decade now, and unfortunately, many people are not aware about the fact that they might be addicted to social media. So I wanted to bring awareness to this. And I also want to share a definition that I found about addiction from Health Direct that I think just speaks to so many of the conversations that I've had around social media and how it relates to addiction. But I want to read this definition with you and then we'll get back after this. So Health Direct says, addiction is when you have a strong physical or psychological need or urge to do something or use something. Is a dependence on a substance or activity, even if you know that it causes you harm and it can impact your daily life. Okay, so when I read this definition, I start having all these floods of everything coming back to me. It's not like this is like a light bulb that went off in this moment of, oh my gosh, so many people are addicted. It's just that this definition just hit it so hard for me. And when I reflect on all the conversations I've had face to face, all the comments that I've gotten, the emails that I received about people around social media, I would say, and this might sound really bold, and this is a total number just pulled out of my head out of nowhere, I would say like 97.66874, whatever. I would say 97%, over 97% of people that I talk to about social media say that it has a negative impact on them. The first thing that they say is not, oh, I love social media. Very rarely have I ever had that type of conversation with anybody. It's usually that they immediately jump into, I know I should spend this time on social media. I know someone is totally destroyed their life. Somebody that I personally love has totally derailed because of, if you get to the root, social media started a lot of these problems. Or they say, I know it's not good for my mental health, and I know this and I know that, but yet, why don't people actually do something about this? So when you think about the definition of addiction, it kind of sounds a lot like that. When you know something isn't great for you, but you continue to engage in that type of activity almost unwillingly, and like you know that it's bad, but you can't help yourself, it sounds and looks a lot like addiction. And while some people really do openly admit to the fact that they are addicted to social media, there are actually so many who aren't aware, which is why I wanted to make this video, because I really wanted to raise the conversation and spread this awareness because it is so real. And again, I'm not trying to shame anyone or scare anyone away, but I think that when you see it for what it is, which if it is for you addiction, when you can actually call it out for that and accept that, you will treat it hopefully a lot differently than you would just treat it if you didn't realize that you had this social media addiction. I think with the awareness comes different actions that you'll take, different ways that you'll approach, or different perspectives that can really help you get through this. And I wanted to speak to the magnitude of social media addiction from my point of view, because not all people are having these conversations about it. I feel like I'm kind of in a unique place where I talk a lot about living life offline and leaving social media, or understanding social media's role in your life. And so because I talk a lot about this, people open up a lot to me about the truth about how social media impacts them. And inside my community, there's an amazing person who shared with me that she used to be addicted to social media and she has overcome it now. But when reflecting on it, she says, nobody would have known that I was addicted to social media because it's really easy to hide it. And she didn't say it in those words, but that's what she's alluding to, is that it's really easy to hide social media addiction, which is what, in my opinion, makes it super scary, is that you can be addicted and no one could ever know because it's so societally accepted and it's really easy to hide. And then even further into this, so this thought's going to be totally not formed very pretty like, but it's something that came to my head and I want to share it. I hope that you get where I'm going with this, but think about how integrated social media is with our society. And if we think about it as an addiction, so social media is a huge part of the world we live in today. And we have come to believe that social media is required to do a lot of things, to have the know of certain things, to be involved in certain activities, to be heard, to be relevant, to get a job, to stay up to date with the groups that your kids are involved in because they seem to like to update everybody through a Facebook group. It just has become so intertwined that it feels like it could be nearly impossible to live without it. Hence the book that I'm coming out with, The Social Media Shift, launching this fall. But imagine Imagine if alcohol was that way. If someone was an alcoholic and they had to like take a drink before applying to the job, like it was a requirement for the job. Like how hard would it be for that person to quit their addiction if alcohol was required for so many things that they wanted to do or wanted to become in their life? And that's almost how social media feels. It feels like this addiction that could feel like it's impossible to break free from because it is so highly integrated. And I believe that there is another way because I've been living offline for nearly a decade and I'm just fine. In fact, I think I'm better off, at least personally for myself, it is that way. And so just think about the magnitude of that type of addiction that's silent, that feels like it's required for everything, that often is just accepted by society, yet it is damaging so many areas of people's life. That is a scary addiction that is silent, that is really easy to hide and very easy to slip it under the rug and not even recognize it for what it is. I'm not here to directly call you out on your social media addiction. That is for you to decide and do for yourself. But for someone listening who this just sets off a light bulb for you, I really want to shed some light on the fact that social media addiction is real and it is out there more than I think we even realize. And I want you to know that you are not alone in this and that there absolutely is something that you can do to get out and to get to the other side. And I wanted to have you ask yourself if it is an addiction for you, because if it is, hopefully you can approach it differently and take it more seriously and find some sort of way to get through this. While I don't have the solution, first, having the awareness is everything around being able to overcome social media addiction. I don't have a one-size-fits-all solution for people who are addicted to social media, but I do know that there is a way to get to the other side. I see it nearly every single day. There are people inside my free community who are doing it, who have done it. And if you need support, join us inside the community and let us support you. Let us help you wherever you're at so you can A, see you're not alone, and B, know that you can actually get through this because people have done it before you and they're continuing to do it to this day. Even if it feels like you're the only one out there in the world who's thinking about this or struggling with this, I can assure you, you are not. So let us support you wherever you're at on your journey. I'll leave a link in the description for you to join our community if it's something that you could really use some support around. And here we are. I wanted to make this video under 3 minutes. That's my new goal for my YouTube videos, is just 3 minutes, just really concise and short to the point. Oh, quick and short to the point in under 3 minutes, but I have a lot to say, clearly. So I'm going to work on getting this under 3 minutes, but this is my first attempt. And I hope this video was helpful for you in some way or shifted a perspective or helped you see things in a different light. I'm incredibly excited to be launching my book this fall. And if you would like to be the first to know when that launches, make sure you're on the Offline Diaries so I can tell you the official launch date that's going to be this early fall. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have the most incredible day. And if you liked this video, I also have a podcast called Taking Life Offline, so we can dive deeper into conversations like this, longer than 3 minutes. That's over on the podcast, which you can listen to wherever you listen to your podcast. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you are, you'll be able to find it. And that way I can keep you motivated and encouraged and supported around your pursuit to living life more offline. Have a beautiful day, and I will catch you next time.